Hey guys, it's Eastside here with another raid guide tutorial. Today we're going to highlight the best builds for all of the SINNOH starters. Before we jump into the builds, let me show you how you can get a SINNOH starter in the Teal Mask DLC for completion's sake. Don't worry, I'll make it quick if you already completed the side quest. So first things first, complete the main DLC story. You'll know when it's finished, trust. Then go to Jacques on the east side of Mosi Town. Probably butchered that town, but Game Freak, on the east side of it, great placement, 10 out of 10. He'll give you one random egg of any of the starters. From my research, it doesn't matter which starter you picked when you started your Paldea journey, it is random. I got Piplup, which is kind of funny because I've never picked Piplup in any of my SINNOH playthroughs. You're coming with me to the Indigo Disk, little guy. But what if you don't have the DLC? Well, if you have access to Pokemon Home, Legends Arceus, or BDSP, you can transfer any and all of the SINNOH starters to Scarlet and Violet, even if you don't have the Teal Mask DLC. Alright, with that out of the way, let's jump into the best raid builds for all the SINNOH starters. Keep in mind these sets are not the end-all be-all. Use these videos as templates so you can freely change however you seem fit. First off, we're going to do Torterra, the grass ground type, and its ability options are either Overgrow or Shell Armor. Personally, I really like the Shell Armor ability just because it prevents you from getting crits, so it removes that RNG chance in raids. For its nature and EVs, I recommend Adamant Nature with max HP, max attack, and the remaining in defense. And because we're running a physical set, I recommend Earthquake and Seed Bomb as your stab moves. It also has access to Swords Dance, so you can buff your own offenses. And you can actually round out its moveset pretty well. On my set here, I run Mud Slap, but it has options. You can run Reflect or Light Screen. This Pokemon also has access to Iron Defense and Body Press, so you could even run a defensive supportive set with Iron Defense and Body Press as two of your moves. I think the biggest bait on Torterra's moveset is Shell Smash. Don't get me wrong, this is a great move for competitive Pokemon, but for raids, I do not recommend Shell Smash because you lower your defenses by 2 stages, so you'll make yourself super vulnerable. Torterra seems to have the most potential because it has the most tools in its moveset to make a variety of sets, but that grass ground dual typing is kind of bad. Next is going to be Infernape, the firefighting starter. Its ability options are either Blaze or Iron Fist. I believe Iron Fist is just the better ability, so I recommend using its hidden ability. And for its EVs in nature, I recommend Adamant Nature with max HP, max attack, and the remaining in speed. Infernape is actually kind of interesting because it's a mixed attacker. It has the same offensive stats, either special or physical. So you could actually run it physically or specially. So we'll go over both sets in this video. For the physical set first, I recommend Swords Dance with Fire Punch and Drain Punch. Fire Punch and Drain Punch are really 2 great options on this set because it gets the benefit from your Iron Fist ability. And then to round out its moveset, I have Taunt on mine, but it has a few supporting options that you can mix in here. And then for its special set, the special set may even be potentially better. The only downside to the special set is that you can't take advantage of the Iron Fist ability, but let's look into the special set. 1, you get access to Nasty Plot to buff your own offenses, but then you get access to Fake Tears to debuff the enemy's defenses. And then you can use a special fire type move like Flamethrower and a special fighting type move like Aura Sphere. I think it's kind of cool how it can be ran physical or special, but low-key that's also its biggest weakness because the majority of its stats are in its offenses and speed, so it's pretty frail for raids. I don't exactly recommend using Infernape, but I'm sure there's some raids where it can shine in. And lastly on our list is going to be Empoleon, the water steel type. Honestly, the best dual type out of all these starters. And it actually got a pretty cool buff in this generation. Before Scarlet and Violet, its hidden ability was Defiant. So whenever your stats get dropped, your physical attack goes up by 2 stages. But in this game, it's been switched over to competitive. So now your special attack will get buffed, which is actually really good because if you look at its offensive stats, its special attack is better than its physical attack, so it can take advantage of competitive more so than Defiant. I recommend the Modest Nature with max HP and max special attack, and the remaining in special defense. This mod is another one that could potentially be ran in both ways. So it does get access to Swords Dance. So you could run a physical Empoleon with Swords Dance, but keep in mind that now your ability is competitive, so you can't take advantage of competitive, and its physical offenses are weaker than special offenses. So I think a specially offensive set will just be better, but the one downside to its special offenses is that it doesn't have a way to buff its offenses. So it doesn't get access to Calm Mind, it doesn't get access to Nasty Plot. So the only way that you'll be able to buff your special offenses is if your competitive boost gets procced. I'm going to provide two sets here, two options. So you could run a choice spec set with Flash Cannon as your steel type move. I think Surf would be your best go-to water move. And then you could even have like something like Hydro Pump if you like to live life on the edge, or even like Chilling Water if you want to be a more supportive set. But choice specs is actually pretty good here because you don't have any way to buff your offenses anyways. So you might as well use choice specs to get that 30% special attack boost. But then because you don't have any real great status moves, you can also utilize the Assault Vest on this Pokemon. So Assault Vest makes it so if you only have attacking moves, your special defense gets buffed. And Empoleon is a great option for this because it already has a really good special defense stat. So again, have 4 moves in there. Honestly, same move set: Flash Cannon, Surf, Hydro Pump, Chilling Water, but be more of a defensive set with Assault Vest to make sure you don't faint. Empoleon is weird in a raid environment. We have competitive, which is a great ability, but no way to manually buff our special offenses. And on the other side, its physical offense set doesn't have a good physical steel type attack, so we're stuck with Metal Claw for our stab steel attack. So it's a very strange Pokemon. It doesn't really seem like it knows what it wants to do. Looking at these sets, I think a lot of them leave a lot to be desired, honestly. But these are some of the overall best and coolest starters in the series, so I wanted to make a video highlighting all of their sets. I made a top 5 list of best raid builds in the Teal Mask DLC, and spoiler alert, none of these Pokemon were on it. So if you're interested who is actually good for raiding, check out the video in the description or in the iCard top right of your screen now. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to help me out in my battle against the 7-star YouTube algorithm. I really appreciate the helping hand buff. See ya!